Hi friends, welcome to the NPTEL course on entrepreneurship. We are in week 11 special lecture focusing on startup development methodology. In this week we will focus on Lingua Reader as our startup project example. This is an IITM DOMS MBA entrepreneurship course project. Student credits are due to Abhishek S, Lakshmanan R, Manan Banga and Shruti P. What is Lingua Reader and why is it required? There was an initial problem identification and solution. The problem statement is that there are not many resources to learn languages in a focused, convenient and affordable manner. Ideally, the population requires a tool that enables readers to learn a new language through their vernacular while reading enough content to master. Over the past several years, e-books or Kindle type of e-readers have become very popular, but they don't teach language, and they are uni-language mode books. That is, they don't offer multiple language options, more particularly vernacular language option. So ideally, what is required is a tool that enables readers to learn a new language through their vernacular while reading enough content to master. Reality is that there are multiple e-readers that allow readers to read in multiple languages, but these do not enable a seamless development in learning. Consequences: wasted opportunity regarding transfer of knowledge and gaining of mastery over a different language. The proposal is that one should learn languages using one's vernacular as a reference, filled with activities in a breakout room, including quizzes and word games. That was the initial problem identification and a potential solution. And how big is the industry? E-reader market is one of the largest industries in the service area, and it has been posting a very healthy compound annual growth rate during the forecast period. North America as a region dominates the e-reader market globally, and the region that would record the fastest growth rate in the e-reader market by 2025 would be Asia Pacific, and India would figure prominently in that. Given this market context, it makes sense for an Indian startup to look at e-readers, but in a completely different format. The e-reader as envisaged in this project exemplifies how startups need to be different, differentiated and creative. The education system in India comprises pre-primary, primary, secondary and higher education. Straddling these four phases, we have tutoring, private coaching, test preparation, reskilling and online certifications, corporate trainings, hobbies and language related learning. We have users who subscribe to foundational education requirements. We have working professionals who would like to have foundational education, and we have pure working professionals who are working already and would like to update their skills. And there are two types of education: offline education and online education. The education itself can be categorized into formal education and informal education. In the wake of COVID, there has been a lot of emphasis shift towards online education, and the age groups corresponding to these usage requirements and these educational phases are given in that chart itself. Up 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30 and 30 and beyond represent the major age group clusters, which define different kinds of and different phases of education. Why is this important? Because e-readers can be very good supplements for education which is mainstream, and this could be done conveniently, but e-readers are content masters, they are not language masters. This startup tries to provide both content as well as language mastery. There are several stages of development of different categories. When you look at higher education, it is expected to grow based on changes in the regulatory framework. For example, new education policy may have a different framework for higher education compared to the previous one. When you look at the primary and secondary supplemental education, lot of emphasis on language and causal learning. And when you look at the test preparation and reskilling and online certifications market, customer bases are indeed large, but they are very focused with an objective of pushing the people towards better jobs or getting the people to go through the competitive examinations and land onto a good job. So in this current market circumstances, several sequences are there: incubation phase, early growth phase, rapid growth phase, maturity, and consolidation. And the adoption of online channel of education amongst the target population for each category moves from low to high, that is inversely proportional to the level of education. The online education channel tends to be lower for higher education, whereas it tends to be very high for test preparation and reskilling, which is the reason why educational online platforms are very popular for test preparation and also for reskilling and online certifications. This is the overall picture in terms of content mastery, in terms of subject mastery for different people in different age groups. E-readers have become the books of choice in a digital world. Kindle has been leading this market with 62% market share, and this is followed by NOC at 22% market share. Sony Reader, Pan Digital have 2% each, while Kobo Reader has 1%. Others constitute 3%, and there are people who aren't aware what book reader is and what they are doing, that is 9%. However, all of these books are content digital books and they are not learning aids. There is no product that lets a learner master the subject as well as learn the language, let alone do that through the vernacular language. This startup has found a niche in this area. When you look at the major players in the e-reader industry, whether it is Wise Reader of Hanwan Technology Company, Amazon Kindle of Amazon, Inkbook of Artatech, Inkpad Touchlux of Pocketbook, Cybook of Bookin, Note Nova Poke, Onyx International, or Nooks of Barnes & Noble, you will find that they offer a lot of content, many fiction, non-fiction, academic, non-academic books on the digital platform, but really they don't teach anyone to master the language of these books or the language itself in particular. This is the thing I like about this project. While every project has had its high point, this project had its high point in terms of a thorough evaluation of the competition. I have been saying with reference to the other projects also that while you may be excited by your idea and you may be assuming that your project provides all the kinds of features with all the bells and whistles that the market needs, it is important that you sanity check what the competition is and you realistically benchmark yourself vis-a-vis the competition. What is good in this project is that the team has made a thorough analysis of the e-readers, mainly the key e-readers such as Kindle, Nook, Inkbook, Wise Reader and Kobo. And the product details have been defined in terms of the key features of each of the e-readers. For example, screen size, the price, the manufacturer, the dimensional form factor, height, width, depth, weight, then battery life, battery capacity, charge via USB, and whether it is a replaceable battery or non-replaceable battery, whether it has wireless access, what is the level of storage that is available, what is the level of memory extension that is possible, whether free book samples are provided as part of the subscription, is there a built-in dictionary, is there a personal document support, what are the supported ebook formats, bookstore that is backing up this book reader, and the bookstore size in terms of the number of titles that are available in the bookstore, and whether it is an electronic paper of e-ink variety, what is the display type, adjustable text sizes, whether there is a provision for sharp display of images and photos, is full image zoom possible, is there a built-in PDF reader, is there newspaper reading as part of this, touchscreen facilities available, rotating display, accelerometer, and so on. Lot of importance again to audio. Is there a headphone jack? Is a built-in speaker available? Is microphone available? What kind of audiobooks are possible to be loaded on the machine? Read to me, that is text to speech possibility exists or not, and how it can be shared and synchronized with other devices. One may have ability to read ebooks on multiple devices, synchronized last page read between the devices. Can you lend those books to the friends? And what other features exist, like listening to music and podcasts, web browsers, quick page turn by hotkey, replaceable colorful back cover, screensaver with personalized photos, over-the-air software updates, input screen, and included accessories. This is a very thorough evaluation of the e-readers by clustered features, and those features have been sharing and synchronizing, audio, screen, general book feature samples, storage, wireless access, battery, dimensions, and the overall look and feel. So when you do an analysis of the competition in this manner, you are certain to find out the gaps and develop your product based on the gaps that exist. Looking at the comparison, you will find that some book readers are evenly matched with the competition in respect of some features, whereas in respect of some features there is total absence of the features being available, and in respect of other features some are displaying those features and some do not have those features. So looking at this, the team said that they would design and develop an e-reader which also is a language teacher. This is the word cloud of the features of the existing products, very visually appealing, and some of these features are the ones which are common across all the e-readers. For example, touch screen, USB-C, Wi-Fi, translations, Bluetooth, text-to-speech, micro SD card, water resistance, adjustable color template, external storage, water resistance, MIC. These are all common across the existing products. So given that, how would you find out whether there is a segmentation possibility? The team said some ways of segmentation is possible in this crowded market and highly competed market. One, you can segment based on the screen type, e-ink versus LCD. You can segment based on the connectivity, whether connection is through Wi-Fi, 3 or 4G and Wi-Fi, or 3 or 4G and 5G as well as Wi-Fi. You can also segment based on the size of the screen from 4 inch to 10 inches. There are a number of screen size possibilities. You can also segment based on the lightness and the portability of the device. And the devices range between 170 to 247 grams depending upon the nature of the screen. And you can also segment based on the memory that is internal to the product, 4GB, 6GB or 8GB. You can also segment based on the extension of memory that is possible with a micro SD card. So the answer, having looked at the market and the various products by the team, is that they would like to offer a product called Lingua Reader. The questions they pose: do you want to read a book or you want to learn a language? But why not both? Nobody does it better than us. That is the tagline. This strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis for the proposed Lingua Reader have been as follows. 1. In terms of strength, vernacular language support, inbuilt projector, language learning on the go, compatibility with various ebook formats including TXT, EPUB, MOBI, ASRW and PDF. Slim and portable, and you can borrow ebooks instead of buying. The weaknesses are that a new product will not have immediate ready reputation in the competitive market, and there could also be low battery capacity, which could be common across the e-readers, but you need to find a way in which that could be converted into a strength. In terms of opportunities, there is a huge potential to collaborate with schools and colleges for e-reader come e-learners and expansion into edutech industry. The threats are that tablets and phablets may also come up with such features besides supporting ebooks, and there could be replication and enhancements of the proposed product by other competitors. So, the team applied design thinking. What are the problems faced by language learners? Based on the survey, they found that these are the common problems. I forget what I learned. I get distracted. I lack discipline of learning. I find the learning process too long, and I lack access to good learning resources. So, people need something additional in terms of language learning so that these problems can be overcome. There have also been other miscellaneous problems which have been found out through the empathize part of design thinking, and these are specific to the use of e-learning. Users are unable to progress quickly while learning a new language as they do not have a base language that they are naturally proficient in. Had it been there, it would have aided them in their learning process. The existing e-readers do not support all the formats of e-books that are available in the market. This makes it hard for users to read books other than the ones that the e-reader company provides. Most digital readers require the user to purchase the e-book. The e-books that can be borrowed are mostly very common ones. An option to borrow and read the book would make it better. A few people still prefer the touch and feel of holding a book and flipping through the pages. Despite the development of technology, e-readers do not match that feel of a paper book. Extras such as note-taking capacity, dictionary and interact activities, check compression, vocabulary, grammar, etc. would make the e-reader more attractive and more relevant. Less interactive sessions in existing language learning component of e-books leads to dullness. The other cluster is that there is complete absence of accreditation and recognition in online courses. This discourages learners from using digital platforms for language learning. Lack of a fixed schedule and connectivity issues make it harder to learn using digital formats. Most apps do a decent job in terms of solidifying the vocabulary, but this is not useful in teaching how to use the words and grammar in real-life scenarios. All of these clusters of issues point to the fact that digital readers are good in terms of content, but they're not so good in terms of teaching a language or coaching on language proficiency. There are three types of users who would use an e-reader or the proposed e-reader come e-teacher. One, new leader. Second, existing advanced learner. Third, technology averse who wants to read on physical surface. See, the new learner has got three characteristics: complete hand-holding along with base language support, gamification elements like progress bars to maintain motivation, adaptive and spaced learning techniques to speed up learning. If the new learner is offered these three features, then the new learner will be attracted towards the proposed new device. Then as far as the existing advanced learner is concerned, we need to offer adaptive learning exercises utilizing user data to increase the difficulty of problems. There should be several learner reading models because he or she is moving away from the base learning capability to advanced learning capability, and there should be training modules with certifications and appropriate accreditations. When you have technology averse person who would like to have a physical book, you need to have a built-in projector with wireless remote so that the content could be projected on a wall, ceiling in larger size, and the attention is riveted. And it should be capable of being used by people with vision problems and for kids, as it will be the ideal format for image heavy books. So if an e-reader come e-teacher is able to cater to the needs of the new learners, advanced learners, as well as technology averse learners, then it would hit the jackpot. And then in the ideation phase, what is the key sticky point? The research proves that the average human attention span has been moved to 12 seconds in 2000, but it has reduced to 8 seconds, and now it is at a level which is corresponding to the average attention span of a goldfish, which is constantly on the move in a fish tank. So the e-reader must ensure that the reader's attention is riveted to the book. The proposed e-reader removes the learners from a distraction-heavy environment such as phone, tablet, laptop, and immerses them into a dedicated learning environment. The lack of constant notifications allows the learners to better focus their time on learning. The team's exercise and test feature is built to beat the forgetting curve by providing adaptive exercises and spaced repetition. This type of responsive learning absorbs learning curves well and gradually sharpens them using spaced repetition. So you have these curves, forgetting curve, the first repetition, the second repetition, the third and the fourth. And when you reach the fourth repetition, you are able to have constant and consistent recall capability. So this is what this adaptive learning attempts to do by enabling a person beat the forgetting curve. As part of ideation, user-centric design has been attempted. 1. The e-reader has repetitive adaptive exercises which beat the forgetting curve. A dedicated e-reader is provided. It is not an app on the phone. It is a separate device for e-reading cum e-learning. If it is an app on the phone, switching is possible. It eliminates the risk of app switching. It minimizes distraction. That is the feature of this e-reader cum learner. There would be reminders and streak badges to incentivize readers to keep coming back. There is a case for gamification. All related information plus translation is found within the app. It simplifies the work of the learner. They don't have to use Google Translate. Books don't help because they are one-dimensional. Phones and laptops are distraction prone. Classroom is not ideal because everyone has a separate learning pace. Therefore, a dedicated e-learner cum e-reader helps a reader overcome all of these distractions and barriers and immerse oneself into content mastery as well as language mastery. So the problems and solutions in the ideation phase. Forgetting curve. You overcome that by repetitive and adaptive exercises. Lack of base language support. You overcome that by integrating vernacular language support in the solution. Inability to read a variety of ebooks of different formats. You overcome that by multi-document format support. The need to purchase ebooks, therefore being a drain on the resources, that is overcome by borrow and read feature. Absence of recognition of progress is challenged by certification for different levels that is provided. Eye strain is minimized by projector, which is available as an accessory. Less interactive session is substituted by a plethora of activities and interactive learning. So the final problem identification and solution has been arrived at by the team as follows. Problem identification. E-readers can be a good source to learn languages. The current pain points are the following. The lack of interactive activities that would kill boredom. B. The use of a base familiar language to guide a reader in learning. Lack of facility to improving a language. And D. Continuous distractions, especially if the device is a phone. Problem solution is in terms of a dedicated language learning device that provides complete support throughout the learning journey while focusing on eliminating the above key problems faced by learners. So this is the high-level flow diagram for the prototype. You start on the learning mode. There is an off mode and there is an on mode. In the off mode, user reads books by either purchasing or using borrow and read option without any interruption. In the on mode, you have the option to learn via a book or a specialized program. And then if you decide to go the B route, that is learning via a book, you borrow or buy a book, read a book, and then go through the activities of quizzes, breakout rooms, word building, go into translator, dictionary and flashcards. But if you decide to go for a specialized program, then you choose a level, a beginner level, intermediate level or advanced level. Then you start learning with vernacular language support. And if you want vernacular language support, you choose your vernacular language and go for vernacular language support, which will be based on difficulty level chosen in terms of vocabulary practice, translation practice, writing practice, grammar, pronunciation, certifications, flashcards and dictionary. And in the case you don't want vernacular language support, you can choose the language you want to learn and go through all of these aspects. So this is the high level flow diagram which takes you through different routes of online and offline, and also learning via a book and learning via a specialized program, learning via vernacular language or learning by any language. So the prototype features are vocabulary practice, translation practice, writing practice, grammar practice and pronunciation practice. And these are supported by flashcards, dictionary, translator, audiobooks and several activities. And what are the other features? Certifications based on levels, accessories such as a projector, compatibility with multiple ebook formats, borrow and read option, vernacular language support, progress reports and personalized learning assistance. What are these features meaning in terms of actual activities? Vocabulary practice means you get the word of the day, you get semantic maps, you understand word pairs, you have vocabulary photo album, you may have comic strip activity for particular age groups. Translation practice will focus on expansion and semantic groups, code switching, functional and comparative, grammatical and lexical activities. Writing practice will focus on fill in the story, summary writing. Grammar practice, error correction, fill in the gaps, sentence games, sorting adjectives, verbs, pronouns, etc. Pronunciation practice, homophone games, rhyming matched pronunciation games and speech test. Again, what comes out of this narration is that once you choose a project, you have to understand the basic context of the project and the science and technology, as well as in this case art related to this particular domain. In this language domain, you need to have language skills. You need to understand how someone picks up language skills and how someone absorbs the content and remembers the content. These four aspects need to be merged together, and every startup has to be based on some specialization like this. It was the UV specialization in the SARA. It was the gas detection specialization in the gas detector. And in this case, it is the language specialization that runs as a theme throughout. So the features are: learn as you read. You can master synonyms, antonyms, prefixes, suffixes, usage, word etymology, pronunciation, and things like that. And what could be the future updates? Because every product has to be made future ready as well. Questions and answers, chat, contextual reference, spaced repetition hacks, improvements on continuous micro-learning programs, feedback, misused, misspelled and confusing words, word usage worksheets, sentence formation exercise and pop-ups. So whatever a high level and high class language teaching program does, this e-reader cum e-learner will endeavor to do, and more, because it is digital and gamification possibilities are endless. In addition to that, you may choose to give foreign languages support. In phase 1, English, German, Spanish, Japanese, that is Nihongo, Mandarin and French are offered. And in phase 2, Russian, Portuguese, Italian, Arabic and Korean are offered. These 10 are very useful foreign languages to learn. And the Indian languages that are supported are Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Gujarati, Urdu, Kannada, Odia and Malayalam. And this language net can be expanded in terms of international languages as well as Indian languages once the product takes root and is stabilized. The user interface is in terms of reminders, and in terms of congratulations or inspirational messages based on the learning program. Full screen reminders and notifications light up the screen when learning activity proceeds as per particular methodology. And stage gating helps in providing appropriate congratulatory messages and appropriate certifications. So it's a kind of reinforcement of the learning process as one goes through the learning process. So the prototype specifications have been well developed based on the competitor analysis. A weight range of 180 to 247 grams, a diagonal display ranging from 6 inches to 10 inches in 3 models, pixel resolution of 6-inch display technology with e-ink Carta and built-in light, 300 ppi optimized font technology, color of 16-level grayscale, Wi-Fi supporting public and private Wi-Fi networks and hotspots with security password authentication or Wi-Fi protected setup, GSM of 3G to 5G, web browser facility being available, Bluetooth facility being available, storage capacity from 8 GB to 12 GB internal, which will cater to about 6 to 12 books in terms of the storage capacity, expansion slots capable of micro SD slot, various media file formats that are supported, and touchscreen, particularly the capacitive touchscreen that is made available. Text-to-speech facility is provided, speaker is provided, mic is provided along with voice assistance, cloud storage is provided, rechargeable lithium polymer battery is the battery, and the life is that a single charge lasts up to 6 weeks based on 30 minutes of reading per day with wireless off and the light setting at 13. Battery life obviously will vary based on light settings, wireless usage. Charging time fully charges in less than 3 hours from a computer via USB cable or with a 5 watts USB adapter. Waterproof rating IPX8 tested to withstand immersion in 2 meters of fresh water for 60 minutes. The accessories that are offered are projector, USB charging cable, audio adapter. So with these prototype specifications, you can go back to the comparator of various competitive models and you will find that this ticks all the boxes in the right manner. The prototype has to be eventually manufactured. So there is a layered view of the device which the team wanted to manufacture with various components as mentioned above. And there would be a printed circuit board containing the principal components that form the basis of the e-reader. And for the display, the team has decided to go in for the e-ink display as the content can be read properly under direct sunlight. It is easy on the eyes and also is lightweight. It makes it a good substitute for paper. 300 pi is the highest resolution that is possible. There have been other considerations also that influenced choosing of the components. The current e-reader market has inbuilt 3G technology, but as the proposed product would go more in depth into learning language software with real-time activities, translation, pronunciation practice, the team decided that it would incorporate better speed of the network and lower latency in retrieving data. And given the purpose and capability of the device, 3G would be considered the basic version, 4G would be the ideal for the current circumstances, and 5G would be futuristic. Similarly, e-ink displays have low power consumption and fast charging is usually required for devices which consume a lot of power and have to be replenished fast. Another reason is that the cost of a micro USB module is within an affordable rupee per unit price, whereas a Type-C module, which is the most common type of fast charging module used, costs close to a little more premium per unit. Then what are the parts of the e-reader, what are the subparts, and what is the cost per unit? Again, like with other projects, you got to have a detailed bill of materials from the product subassemblies, from subassemblies to components, and from components the mini components. And this bill of material enables you to cost the product. It also enables you to determine the make or buy decisions. It also makes you to decide on the assembly process that you can adopt. A white label e-reader platform would be used to design and implement the software for the e-reader. White label SEO software provider sells you the tools. You customize them to match your company's style. You sell the purchase tools under your company's name. That's how the white label users operate. And the standard features are bookmarks, recent locations, multiple highlight colors, highlight of the color key, search book details, search within a book, percentage complete in library, book file size in library, and highlights and notes view. And these would be offered through a one-time contract based on initial one-time payment to get the software ready. The copyright and patenting rights will be used to ensure that the white label company does not misuse or replicate the product. It is going to be a global supply chain that would enable this product to come up. From Taiwan, certain products, from South Korea, certain products, and from China, certain other products. Philippines will provide other products. Assembly plant will be in India. The team has chosen Noida as the hub for the product because it is also a hub for mobiles and accessories. The product will be classified as a functional product or as an innovative product, and it will be sold in e-commerce or through physical retail. That's the overall vendor manufacturing and assembly strategy. In terms of the key features of the supply chain, there will be a full life cycle approach to production, use, and disposal of plastic with emphasis on ease of repair and recyclability. The recycled plastic sourced from within India will have a focus on building a closed loop recycled plastic supply chain. So it will have this RRR principle, which is reuse, reduce, and recycle. That triple R will be used in the supply chain. Once you establish the proof of concept, you also need to establish the proof of business. And the uniqueness of the product proves that it is savvy in terms of the business. Existing e-readers do not provide full-fledged language learning experience. As a result, there would be many customers for the product because of the offerings it makes. And that will lead to higher number of customers for the product. And the number of people who read ebooks on e-readers in India, which is already in 9 million, could be tapped to accept this kind of reader come learner product. And the proof of business is based on the fact that e-reader companies have had a good ride, and there is no competition in this combination option of reading as well as learning. So how do you prove the concept? First, you analyze the user requirements through discussions, market study, research papers, and articles. It's a generative session. Map the pain points to the solutions. Then you consult with the end users, stakeholders, and obtain feedback on the solutions that have been mapped for the pain points, which is accomplished through customer interview. Then you blueprint online wireframe, make an online UI with the mentioned features, and test it with the users. Prioritize the software updates and categorize them into immediate updates and future updates. Calculate the budget for the prototype. Build a working prototype, an e-reader with the application to test the hardware specifications and the updated software application. And then you iterate to the consultation with the end users, stakeholders step. And then you try to refine the product for more perfect and more sought after product specification. Then release the product, and app features would be released in an incremental fashion. This is the way the product concept is expected to be translated into a real product plan. And there are questions which are asked, there are types of activities which are proposed, and people can choose their interests and personalize the device to their requirements. And there will be recommendations based on the individual's learning and reading capability, the levels that the individual could choose, and the kind of support that the reader will provide. And this requires a very strong backend of experts to back the user in its drive to develop oneself. So the business strategy and product strategy are interlinked. Fundamentally, the business strategy is based on leveraging the interest in e-readers, but the product strategy aims at providing incomparable value add through language learning. And the manufacturing strategy coupled with the design strategy provides state-of-the-art hardware and software seamlessly integrated, and it creates a unique niche for the Lingua Reader. To design an e-reader that goes beyond reading and transitions as a language learning partner, learning which is achieved through textual and vocal exercises and made easily achievable through the use of the vernacular language. That is the mission statement for this particular product called Lingua Reader. Then you need to have a marketing strategy. You will resort to Google ads, you may resort to Facebook ads, have a budget, and then you take up a plan which will support you. Then you choose the objective of the campaign and also test the effectiveness of the ad, and that will help you to get various considerations such as traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation and messages, and how you are able to convert the users of one product into your product and how it improves the reach and brand awareness. So the operation strategy is interlinked with business strategy, just as the product strategy is interlinked with business strategy. The goal of the operation strategy is to ensure cost-effective production and innovative products. The distribution strategy aims at partnering with electronic retailers, e-commerce websites. And the electronic retailers will be Chroma, Next, Reliance Digital, Staples, C-Zone, Vivex, Lotus, Terminal, Vijay Sales, etc. And the e-commerce websites will be Amazon, Flipkart, India Mart, and so on. The initial investment has been planned to be an amount of 1 crore of rupees. Founders would hold the equity in accordance with their initial investment. 50% of the initial outlay would be secured from various public or private grants, and 40% of this amount would come from private funds. The remaining 10% would be raised from commercial banks in the form of bank loans. It's a very small portion, but it is intended to establish a relationship so that a conventional working capital model can be supported by banks once the working capital cycle is kicked in. Investments via grants. There are a number of options that are available for the ideation phase, prototyping phase, and pre-commercialization phases. Government of Karnataka, Government of Punjab, Prism's Technopreneur Promotion Program, and NASCOM provide seed funding of various levels, some going as much as up to 100 lakhs for conceptualization, fabrication, development, trial and application. And education is one of the key areas which is considered for ideation and prototyping as well as pre-commercialization phases. In the commercialization phase, one would need to go to venture capital companies such as Bloom Ventures, Sequoia Capital, Omidyar Network, Nexus Venture Partners, Safe Partners. Again, what is relevant is that this project has made the students research into the kind of angel investors and the kind of venture capital partners that are available in the market space and the kind of projects they invest in. And this provides the wherewithal for the Lingua Reader team to develop a pitch deck and also provide a value proposition to the potential investors for the commercialization phase. So the target groups are two. The primary customers would be people who wish to learn new languages using education technology. This would involve targeting of students in formal and informal markets of India. The second target group is also that the decisions would be made by people other than the actual users, in which case it could be institutions who would be supporting the demand for this product. The actual customers could even be schools, universities, coaching classes, etc. And the customer review section explains the customer segmentation in more detail. The way ahead for the project has been thought about as follows. The main USP would be providing the services that are not readily available in the e-reader market space. There could be a slow adoption curve at the start, but once there is a good understanding of the various features, it would be reasonable to expect a good share in the market. In the beta version, select people would be chosen to use the product and they would be conducted through the program, and their initial reactions will be quantified before bringing out the product to the market in a final shape. There would also be the option of providing free access to a selected assortment of pre-decided titles to customers for a limited amount of time. This would enable customers to get the feel of the product and appreciate its benefits. So what are the customer segments and numbers? We will go back to the original theme of how online and offline, informal and formal education across pre-primary, primary, secondary and higher education occur for different age groups, and what are the functionalities they are choosing in respect of each of the phases. So the customer segment overall, uses of online education for language learning. The use cases are in terms of supplementation of the formal education, tutoring, reskilling, corporate training, hobby-based learning, and this would lead to a sector with 9.5 million users, out of which 20% could be equated to the language learners, and a particular percentage of that 20% could be aimed for penetration, and this itself will enable a critical scale of buyers in the first 5 years itself. Will this project have risks? Certainly. An important aspect of startup development is to make an objective and thorough analysis of various risks that could come the project's way and how that can be mitigated, because sustainability would be a major focus area apart from growth for a new startup. So we should understand what could be the points of failure, how should we address those risks. So the risk is one of dependence on cloud infrastructure and web hosting service providers, and the mitigation is in terms of a competent web security analyst cum consultant who would be hired to make the website and application secure. Another risk is that customers might become reluctant to buy the premium version of the software, and for that you should provide festive offers and discounts. There is possibility that competitors would duplicate the product and offer it to customers at a cheaper rate. To mitigate that, you need to protect your product by copyright and patenting rights and ensure the white label company from whom we get our core software does not misuse or replicate the product. So the projected forecast is that there could be an annual revenue of 38 crores for this project in the 5th year, and there could be cost of goods sold of only 10 crores, which means that there is a significant gross margin that is available, but that gross margin would be taken up by several pre-operative expenses as well as other expenses. So you need to draw up a complete cost analysis of what is required to be done to conceptualize, manufacture and market this e-reader, and more importantly have content management capability at the back end to be able to guide, coach different levels and different types of readers, and that is going to cost a lot in terms of the cash flow. So to recap, customers think reading is a good way to build language competencies, but currently there is no product in the market that teaches language via reading, that too through vernacular language. Problems that users face during language learning are two: being distracted out of boredom or otherwise, depending on the device you use and depending on the environment you try to read, and not having base language support. These are the key problems. And the solution: a dedicated language learning device that provides complete support throughout the learning journey while focusing on eliminating the key problems faced by learners. The product description, an e-reader, and the value proposition, an e-learner, and together it makes a winning combination. The proof of business lies in its unique product nature, a strong customer base, and lack of direct competition. And the competitors in the e-reader business are not the competitors in the e-learner business, and vice versa. There are some competitors in the learning phase, Duolingo, Memrise, Bee, etc., but they are not in the reading business. Lingua Reader is at the intersection of the e-readers as well as the e-learners, so it combines both of these functionalities in an impressive manner. So the unique selling proposition: it analyzes learner data to personalize learning, it offers base language support, it uses gamification to encourage reading and learning. Initial investment required is estimated at 1 crore of rupees, which will be a combination of funds from grants, private investors and bank loans. Modest revenues in the year 1, but going up continuously. Net outlay over a 5-year period would amount to 45 crores, and that has to be more than compensated by the overall revenue, at least from the year 3, so that the product would break even and be satisfactory for the investors to invest in. So this is the overall outlook of Lingua Reader. It's a different kind of product, but the key is the discovery of a niche, a unique combination of e-reading capability and e-learning capability, and both of them peppered with various digital approaches, including gamification, exercises, recalls, rejigs, and various other hand-holding devices for learning. And learning through the vernacular support is the clincher. That is the outlook for this project, and well done by the team. Thank you.